everyone, welcome to Benzine's YouTube video sessions. And in today's session, I'm going to talk about the don'ts of a daily stand-up meeting. Now, this is something that as a consultant, I see in a daily stand-up meeting, in spite of coaching them, the best practice of daily stand-up meeting, the teams tend to move away from the actual practices and they never even realize that they're doing this. So the focus of this video is to show you or to tell you that these are the areas that you should focus on while focusing on a DSM. Now, the one main thing that I see in a daily stand-up, now before I get there, what I see and I observed, I would like to talk about for a very short time, what's the daily stand-up meeting? It's a huddle wherein the team members of the development team or the Agile team or the Scrum team get together to talk about the work that they've taken up and how much of work is remaining and how are they moving towards achieving this sprint goal, right? Now, this daily stand-up meeting is a cadence-based, time-boxed, recurring event which happens in all the sprints, and the maximum duration allocated for this is 15 minutes, right? Now, what is that happens in a daily stand-up meeting? The Scrum Master or the facilitator would have sent the invites to the development team members and the optional stakeholders. Also, the invites would go to the product owner and the technical leads, right? And we are expecting them to be part of the meeting. Sometimes the optional stakeholders, we don't expect, but it'll be probably, we are sending that invite to keep the options open in case they want to see what's happening on a daily basis, right? So the Scrum Master opens the meeting on time, say 11 a.m. Sometimes a minute later or 2. Some of the times, I often see that somebody else joins the meeting on time and Scrum Master joins a minute 2 later. The other things that I noticed is the Scrum Master is opening the meeting on time, no problem. Then what happens is they wait for everybody to turn up on time. They wait. Okay, minute, 2, 3, 4 minutes passed and they're still waiting. Once they realize, okay, 4 minutes have passed and others have joined, they stop waiting. By then, 4 to 5 minutes would have elapsed. And then they start the daily stand-up updates. Everybody takes their turn. They talk about the work that they had taken up and the impediments they faced and so on and so forth. And this continues. Then after 5 minutes, these guys join, the latecomers or stakeholders like your manager or your tech leads join. And Scrum Master suddenly tries to give an update to those latecomers. Okay, what were the updates so far? That's something that I noticed or observed. The second thing is they have joined late, fine. There's a slight disruption there because they want to give the updates to those latecomers. Second thing is somebody is talking about their work in progress, the work undertaken, and they have some doubts around the work they have taken. So immediately the discussion gets digressed and they talk about solutioning that particular product, or they start gaining clarity from other team members and the tech leads. Now, if this continues for 30 to 40 seconds, it's okay, or a minute. I wouldn't even want to say a minute because it's only a 15 minutes DSM, right? It continues for 30 to 40 seconds. It's all right because the team usually says, no, we don't want to park it for later because we might just forget the context. That is all right, I would say. But then these kind of discussions extend to 5 to 7 minutes and 8 minutes. And then once the member gained the clarity or has answers to his or her questions, the person in queue or the next team member talks about his or her update. The other thing that I observed is the entire team gets digressed and they talk about all kinds of things around, okay, holidays or refinement or somebody missing or what about the other issue that happened. These kind of discussions happen during daily stand-up. Also, you would notice that apart from these digressions that have happened, or because of these digressions, you would notice that the time has elapsed. You would have stretched your DSM to 20 minutes, 25 minutes. People lose interest. Some of them drop off because they have something else planned. The other thing is, if you started late, okay, probably 5 to 7 minutes or 8 minutes late, what would happen is the optional stakeholders who had the invite tend to join at the right time, and then they start waiting for everybody to join, and then the DSM starts. These are the few observations I made, and these are the bad practices, I would say, because the daily stand-up meeting is supposed to be inculcating discipline and kind of regimen among the team members. Yeah, we don't want to break the cadence. We want to bring punctuality. We want to stay focused on the intent of the daily stand-up, not talk about everything else. Now, if you start doing that, what happens is the team loses interest in the daily stand-up. Oh, it's okay. Anyway, we are starting late. No, why don't we push the meeting 10 minutes later when everybody is able to join? And slowly you would notice that the daily stand-up meeting, which is supposed to start at 11 a.m., starts at 11:05, 11:10, and it goes on until 11:30 or 11:35. This is a no-no. If you had fixed the time for 11 a.m., ensure you start at 11 a.m. And my opinion, I always recommend team members or the Scrum Master or the facilitator to join a minute earlier and keep the meeting open. Wait for a minute for others to join. If they don't join, people who have already joined the meeting should start talking about their work items. Now, by doing this, what happens is you're respecting the team members who are already joined or who already are in the meeting or who are always turning up on time. You're respecting them. The other thing that happens is when people start joining late and the Scrum Master waits for the people who are missing at 11 a.m. or 11 a.m., the others who are starting on time get to understand that, okay, anyway, we get to wait for 4 to 5 minutes for the other people to join. Why not we also join 4 to 5 minutes later and wrap up something until then? There you go. Your discipline is out of the window. You would not want to do that. Do not wait for everybody to turn up unless there's nobody. Now, if there's nobody, again, that's something that you have to look into. I'm going to talk about that in my next video. So start on time. Do not wait for people. Okay. A minute earlier is the best practice. You might want to wait for a minute. The second point that you must not do is taking up technical solutioning during a daily stand-up meeting. The intent of the meeting is lost. People lose interest. Why do people lose interest? So I have a question. I'm asking the tech lead and the other senior guys for a solution. Right? What about the other guys? They're not even working on the same work item. So they may not seem to be interested. They might feel that, okay, let me use my time for something else. And let me come back once this discussion is over. Especially in a virtual environment, they may move away from the desk. The focus is lost. So if somebody has a question, Scrum Master, please ensure you tell them that you could take up this question for seeking clarity post the DSL. So what should a Scrum Master do or somebody who is organizing the meeting do? Park the question for later. And once the stand-up is over, once everybody had their turn, let them know that the stand-up is over, update your board, and announce the daily stand-up is over, and now take up the areas that were pending. Okay, the conversations that needed more clarity, or conversations that were needed or that were parked, right? Allowing the others to drop off. So you would want to give them an option, guys, if you want to stay on and learn something, or you have some inputs for this particular area that is pending, please feel free to stay on. Otherwise, you may drop off. That way, team knows the 15 minutes are only for this purpose, and anything beyond 15 minutes is a technical discussion or any other discussion. So it becomes easy for calendar management for everybody else, other stakeholders, that they have to come on time for 11 o'clock to 11:15. Also, your other meeting that is jotted in for a slot of 11:30 doesn't get delayed. So if you get delayed over here, your cascading meetings also get affected. So these are don'ts, or these are the anti-patterns that we observe in our consulting experiences or in our teams. So please stay away from these. Scrum Masters, be aware, be observant, see what's happening, keep an eye on your watch, and stay away from these anti-patterns. For more such anti-patterns in the daily stand-up, I have a lot of them. These are just a few that I've noticed with the time aspect. There are other areas that I'm going to talk about. If you like this video, if you found this informative, please subscribe to our Benzene YouTube channel. And for more blogs on relevant topics on Agile and Scrum, follow benzene.com. The blogs are up there. See you in my next anti-pattern video. Thank you.